You may think that this story is just stupid. Why do we care? Well, I still sort of think that, but more so, what just happened? I can't even really explain why, but I am going to tell you what occurred yesterday because Katy Perry sang a song in outer space. Gayle King kissed the dirt of Texas. Oprah was weeping as her bestie was shot off in a rocket. I mean, it was a spectacle, to say the least. The world witnessed a bona fide roller coaster to outer space, sort of. And though I still don't know why, I do know that I was very much entertained by all of the absurdity. But before we watch some of my favorite moments from the event, let me just give you a bit of a backstory. Because besides Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez, which is Jeff Bezos' wife, the 6-woman crew was rounded out by these ladies. Former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe, bioastronautics research scientist and civil rights activist Amanda Nguyen, and filmmaker Kerianne Flynn rounded out the crew according to Blue Origin. And remember, Blue Origin, for those of you who missed last week's episode, Blue Origin is owned by Jeff Bezos, so he sent his fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, among these other ladies up to space yesterday. Apparently, the only reason why Gayle King is even on this mission is because her BFF, Oprah Winfrey, said, "You must go." And Gayle apparently has fears of all things. Like, she doesn't even have her ears pierced because she's afraid of that getting done. So Oprah's like, "This is your time. You're going to be sent to space and you're going to love it." And Gayle's like, "Okay." That's why she's here, okay? In all of this footage, you will see that Gayle was very scared to be part of this group. And then there they are, the squad. And this was Blue Origin's 11th manned flight. Or should I say, woman. Not a good joke, but I thought it was funny because this is one of the few that they actually have humans in them because they've sent many, many to space before, but only a few that have had humans. Now, these 6 ladies are calling themselves the Taking Up Space crew.
Taking Up Space!
Every Blue Origin flight apparently is allowed to name themselves something, so they call themselves the Taking Up Space crew because they're taking up space. And here are the ladies taking up space on the little spacewalk out to their capsule.
And here they come.
Here we go.
Loading into the capsule.
And the significance here of the bell, and I should note, each crew names themselves. They
Oh,
have named
Gayle
themselves
is
the
so
6
not having this. Especially contrasted with the girl who goes next. Aisha's like, heck yeah! And Gayle's like,
This is one of our traditions. All astronauts throughout history in various programs have had their traditions.
I hear them saying the word astronaut in the background. They do this a lot. Now everyone who has gone to space is considered an astronaut. So I was just hearing that and thinking about the astronauts who trained for years to be able to get their shot at space. And then you see Katy Perry ringing a bell being like, and the newest astronaut. And it's like, okay, she went on a ride to space. But does that make her an astronaut? Apparently, technically it does, but should it?
No.
I watched a lot of this live, or should I say, it was still going on live, but I fast forward. I went back in time and then I fast forwarded through a lot of just the nothingness that is basically how these flight missions go because there's not a lot to see, especially given the fact that they somehow did not put a live camera in the capsule with the ladies. So once they get into the rocket ship, you do not see them again for the rest of the journey. You just, as the viewer down on the ground or watching on YouTube, you just see a white dot shoot up there, stay there for a bit, and come back down. That was what I got to see yesterday. Okay, so not that interesting. However, thankfully, there were some video clips from that kind of experience that were posted via Blue Origin so we could see what was going on inside. But again, the fact that they didn't just make that live that would have got attention.
Makes you think, was it live?
Well,
There's some speculation, right?
no. Listen, I'm being a good girl today and I'm not getting conspiratorial. So I'm not going to say anything. We're not going to get into my conspiracies today. This one, I didn't feel the red flags, shockingly. I think this is legit. I also think from a filmmaker, video nerd, tech perspective, if they didn't get a clear shot going into space, they wouldn't have wanted to show that. Like inside, if the live feed was not going to be strong, maybe they wanted to wait till it was the video file that they posted. That's my part of my brain speaking. And that honestly makes sense. This is the first bit of footage that I saw, but it was really grainy. So I wondered like if this was the live or whatever. It's not, just someone uploaded it. But there's cameras kind of in there. Okay, so you can see the one Katie's holding her little daisy flower up to. But they're just all holding up things that they want photos taken of. Like I get it. I get getting the cool selfie. I get that. Okay. As much as I don't want to get that, I get it. However, spending any more time than a whopping like 2 seconds to get the shot, you only have maybe 4 minutes in this kind of zero gravity state that they're in right now. So they get shot up there, they get to unbuckle, they get to spin around for literally 4 minutes max. Then they have to quickly buckle back in and then they get sucked back down. Well, shot back down, I guess. That's my outer space knowledge in a nutshell. But go look at the Earth. You get 4 minutes to look out a window and see Earth. I'd be wanting to soak in every moment of that, like just looking. But they're all like, maybe that's like when you don't spend the money yourself. Those 4 minutes that cost you however much these trips would typically cost, like that's what you're paying for. The 4 minutes to look at Earth, you know? But they didn't pay for it, so they're just like, da, 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 da. Those ladies do not look very balanced right now. They're floating all different kinds of ways. But one thing that will keep you balanced is balance of nature, because it gives you a great variety of nutrients that you need every single day. With Balance of Nature fruits and veggies, there has never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure that you get that wide variety of fruits and veggies in every single day with 31 different whole fruit and vegetable ingredients. Balance of Nature takes fruits and veggies, they freeze dry them, turn them into a powder, and then put them into a capsule. All you have to do is take your fruit and veggie capsules every day, and your body knows what to do with them. The fruit and veggie capsules are freeze-dried, sort of the way that space food is freeze-dried, that astronauts can eat in space, which if you guys have never also tried space food, very fun. 10 out of 10 recommend. I also recommend Balance of Nature because I absolutely love taking them every single day. It's been so easy with my new supplement routine that I just have them right up there in my little cabinet of supplements, and I'm getting all of the nutrients that I need. So if you want to give Balance of Nature a shot yourself, all you have to do is go to balanceofnature.com and use promo code Conrad for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer, plus you'll get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Conrad today. Let's go back to talking about these unbalanced ladies. That's Katy's tour list, I believe, for her new tour. So she brought that up to like make the announcement. Wow. The daisies for her daughter, that's actually cute, but wow. Everyone's getting their shots because there's cameras for all of them. So they can all just be like, look at me, look at me. It's just so good.
Tamir's in space.
Everyone's struggling. Like, must get the shot with my little creature that I brought into space. That's a sick shot. That's insane. Is that the moon? That's so cool.
Flynn, I gotcha. Flynn.
Gotcha. Proud of you.
I'm proud of Gayle. Is there any takeaway from this video? How old is Gayle? If she's a grandma?
70.
Gayle is 70? Okay. Take away all my jokes about Gayle. I'm impressed. If she's not that mobile, I don't care. She's in space. That's cool. Good for her. Way to go, Gayle. Way to overcome your fears.
You go, Glen Coco.
It's so silent. I think that's the first thing that I noticed. Like, there's no noise. It's just the girls being like, oh my gosh.
I will have to tell you, look
Dude,
at the
that's
moon.
insane.
That's amazing.
Wow, look at the blue line.
Also, maybe it was for the aesthetic, but why all of the girls didn't wear tight, low buns? Your hair is just floating in the way. Like, all these shots are going to be like 6 girls' hair just flop. Like, put it in a bun so you can see. Again, every one of these visuals is so magnificent if there wasn't just hair in the way.
Okay.
One girl's upside down. It's so great.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa,
Turn around. What are we
That's
doing?
amazing.
Oh gosh. Is that bothering you guys as much as it's bothering me?
A little bit.
Especially the tour list. That just seems like you're using this as your marketing moment. I mean,
It is just a marketing moment. That's what this is for most of these girls. Stop looking at the shot. I'd be like, okay, back to looking at the Earth. Something I'll never get to see again. Also, it's completely out of focus. So Katy's mission there completely failed. This was Blue Origin's video, so it should be clear, and it's still not clear. Sorry, Katy, we don't know what your set list is. We probably don't care anymore. Also, a lot of people picked up on that too. Someone said so much time worried about the cameras around them instead of looking out at the world. I mean, you're literally looking at the world. Not many people can say that, but they're still looking at themselves. Okay. Someone else said, this looks like the vibe as going out with the insufferable influencer friends that make you capture candid content and clink glasses 12 times before taking a sip of your $27 cardamom-infused Cosmo that tastes like soap. That is very accurate.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Someone else said, which one of the crew is flying? truly, I thought maybe they had to be trained a little bit. They only had to be trained how to buckle and unbuckle and float around and then buckle again. So yeah, which one of the crew is flying? No one's flying.
I know this may sound silly, but can you fly? Nope.
But I did see this, and I did want to just show this. Colton found this. I thought this was a cool actual visual of what their experience was, because I think the most frustrating part of this from a, again, filmmaker standpoint is this was the moment, the last 24 hours is the moment that they'll get the most attention on this story. And yet they didn't actually visually show probably the very compelling, beautiful parts of this, because what they released was just that footage of Katy showing her set list. Like, we don't care about that. If anything, like, I want to see what it was like to be shot up into space and hope that the rocket doesn't just combust. But they really just dropped the ball on showing the actual cool parts. But this YouTuber, she went to space, the same flight as Katy and all of them, and she just vlogged it. And this I found was actually interesting. So I just wanted to show a little bit of this because this is what it was like for them in the capsule throughout the whole experience, because again, they didn't show us.
2, 1.
So her name's Emily. I mean, that thing could just combust. And you're just sitting there. That's what we were watching.
Cleared the tower and is heading to space.
But this is way more compelling. Like, look at the velocity going up.
This is amazing. Oh, wow. Look at the dark.
Stand by, Nico. Stand by, Nico.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So now they're feeling the zero gravity, obviously. Because the engine's shut off. And then you're just kind of chilling up there.
Stand by separation. Stand by separation.
Oh, my God. Oh, there we go.
Take your time, guys. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
That's so sick. That's the rocket coming back down because it separates. So they're still up in space. Which is what I saw yesterday. I was confused. Okay, so you get your selfie again. No judgment there.
Wow. See you
And then go freaking take in the sights.
Rosie, it's Mommy from space. I love you. Lincoln, it's Mommy from space. I love you.
That's so cool.
It's cool that
Holy
you can. They're still climbing.
Yeah.
They're still climbing, so it's almost like it hits that, and they're still.
Yeah, they're still
going up for a
moving.
while.
As promised.
Look how cool. Like, that gives me chills. This was the part of this video that I was like a little emotional. Again, don't know why. Maybe because the world is so freaking cool and it's just like magnificent.
Oh, this is
Like, what? That's insane. That's insane. If y'all don't think that was created by something, it's not just a, what do they call that? The Big Bang? Nah, man, that takes a creator. So cool. And then quickly, okay, you just have to like buckle back in. They're like, 1 minute before we shoot you back down. That would be the part of me freaking out. It's like, what if your buckle doesn't work? That's why it feels like the coolest roller coaster ever.
6, 6, and 5, and buckled.
So cool. There you go, back down. I wonder what the old astronauts would think seeing this kind of thing, of like the stress that they endured, and these people are like, yay! And they're like, we wish we had that experience.
A little bit more, you can hear the thrusters thrusting, that's stabilizing our capsule.
It seems very peaceful. Like, I thought you'd be going like 1,000,000 miles a minute, not be able to talk or anything with like the forces.
Here we go. Yes!
I want to show the end because that reaction to landing on ground after you've just been in outer space, where a lot of things could have gone wrong and you could have just floated away and never to be seen again. I mean, probably not. I know that's not how science works, but like technically bad things could have happened. I would be very grateful to be back on land. Okay, so that is then we missed in the storyline. We missed that part of the story, right? From X. We weren't seeing this. So we saw them walk on their little spacesuits, get in a ship, and then exit the ship 10 minutes later. So we missed the actual crazy experience that they did go through. And then we just saw videos like this once they returned to Earth, okay? Each of them stepped out of the capsule, you know, once it landed. Katy's holding her little daisy, which is for her daughter, which is very cute. She's kissing the ground. Okay, everyone was like beaming that. But again, I'm not saying that I would kiss the ground, but I would be very grateful for it. I'm not trying to defend Katy, but Gayle also kissed the ground. Someone said, I hope she can reintegrate into society after her ordeal up there. Yeah, quite the ordeal. Someone else said, Katy Perry overreacting from her 10-minute roller coaster ride should be the headline. Again, that is sort of what it was. But also, they did risk their lives in a sense to do that. Like, that's not a stretch to say, right? You get a little moment of gratitude for Earth and for life and for everything when you kind of risk it. It's like objectively cool.
Like, are you saying if you went up to, like, this person commenting,
Right.
if they went up to space, they would just be like,
You'd be super chill.
I guess
yeah.
I'm here.
I'm back. Dang. Like, no, you would be like, that was freaking cool. And again, it's the videography, the marketing side from Blue Origin that I think dropped the ball to, like, again, show the story so that you understand when Katy's walking out holding her little daisy, like kissing the earth. Maybe if you saw them crying and looking at Earth and being like, wow, you'd feel a little differently. Maybe. I think they're making this into a documentary, by the way. Another person said, Katy Perry out here acting like she was just stranded in space by Joe Biden for nearly a year. Remember, there were the astronauts who were recently saved after being up there for nearly a year. And while their landing back on Earth was beautiful and very emotional, it definitely did not get the coverage that Katy Perry got. Another person said, this guy was longer in the air than you were in space. If you guys know, you know from one of our previous episodes, that's hilarious. Because Katy had tweeted and said, there's no place like home. And then everyone was just ripping on her. One of her most profound moments was the fact that when she got interviewed afterwards, she said this.
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give, and how loved you are until the day you launch.
That sounded like such a the day you launch. Like they're going to use that in their promo stuff. You know what I mean? Like that sounded like such a soundbite for a promo piece I've ever heard. But also, what does that mean? Someone said, me after drinking my first beer on a Friday night. She was trying to sound profound, but really she sounded like her like woo-woo whatever stuff that she talks about, and then it just like felt like nothing. Let's unpack that further. You never are more connected to love until the day that you launch.
Compelling and rich.
Now, is it cool that we can send people to the outer levels of our atmosphere to experience zero gravity and get to see the Earth from a different perspective? Yes, that is incredible, frankly. And did they technically risk their lives in a sense to do that? Yes. But did something about this mission feel like a giant marketing ploy? Also, yes. And though I bet it was objectively cool to experience, not many people seem to care about that. In fact, I think people had more fun making jokes about the mission than actually watching it. Like Wendy's, who tweeted and said, can we send her back? In response to a tweet saying that Katy Perry has arrived back on Earth. Unhinged, whoever that intern is, I'm gonna get us trending, which they did. Or the New York Post writing an article about what happens to Botox and fillers and implants in space. And they got experts to weigh. Everything probably rises. It all just kind of... This is the headline we were all waiting for. As I was closing out this episode, I wanted to look for one of the wholesome moments that I could share with you all. The one thing that we could all take away, even from a silly space mission like this one. For the young scientists who got the chance to go up there and got to live out a lifelong dream and goal of getting to go to space, this is very cool. It's very aspirational. But for someone like Katy Perry, who is certainly no astronaut, but has achieved success in her own career, I found one moment of reflection from her to actually be profound. Whether it's selling out huge stadiums, becoming one of the richest women in the industry, or heck, becoming one of the very select few to have ever been on a rocket to space, this is what Katy said when comparing her big life achievements.
You have done so many incredible things in your life, selling millions of records, selling out stadiums. Where does this experience rate for you?
This experience is second to being a mom.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
Second to being a mom. You just got to go to space. You got to see the Earth, and it's still like, yeah, but it doesn't compare to being a mom. Hearing that from someone as successful in her career and as large of a life as she has lived, and then getting to go to space, and she says, yeah, but it still doesn't compare to being a mom. That's pretty cool. It just makes me really excited for another chapter of my life that I haven't even gotten to experience yet. When whatever that's going to be like doesn't even compare to going to space or becoming that successful. I mean, it's so cool. Motherhood is just that precious. that being a parent still tops every other possible worldly success. And that's pretty cool. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. And last but not least, if you want more content, you can also follow me on my personal accounts, as well as our new comment section Instagram. See you guys in the comments.